That breaking news you see right now is on the 405 near Fountain Valley. We are following a dangerous chase. LA County deputies following a driver. The want on this, we believe, is carjacking. Eliana Moreno overhead right now in News Chopper 4. Eliana, what else do we know?
Colleen, we know that this is now here on the southbound 405 freeway coming up to Harbor Boulevard, so not far from the 55 freeway here. But this is a chase that started in Compton. This is a carjacking suspect. Now, the good news is that the guy is alone in the vehicle by himself. But I did hear on the scanner how sheriff's deputies were talking about how the mom and the children were no longer in the vehicle. So that leads us to believe that at some point they were in the car, but thankfully they're okay. But this suspect now has led us here on multiple area freeways, eastbound on the 105, southbound on the 605, and now southbound here on the 405 freeway, where the California Highway Patrol has just taken over the pursuit. We were waiting for them to come to the scene because since this has been on the freeway now for so long, the Sheriff's Department had asked for the California Highway Patrol to take over. They are now behind the vehicle. The sheriff's helicopter is still overhead, and we continue here southbound on the 405. Colleen?
Eliana, we've been watching this for a little while. I'm looking at the speeds here. He's actually slowed down. We were clocking him anywhere from 90 to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, he was triple digits at one point, and we have some footage to show you of some of the very dangerous maneuvers that we saw earlier. He had exited off the 105 freeway, ended up in some sort of park and ride area where he went around in circles with the sheriff's deputies, and then after that he got onto the freeway going the wrong way. So he started driving westbound in the eastbound lanes of the 105 freeway. That is when the units had to pull off because they simply couldn't follow him if he was driving the wrong way on the freeway. But the airship stayed on him, and he stayed on him until this moment that you just saw a few seconds ago, where the California Highway Patrol was finally able to get behind the vehicle. And we are continuing here southbound 405 freeway coming up to the 55.
We talk about this being a dangerous chase, dangerous in terms of speed, but that move you just saw going the wrong way on the 105 was just incredible when we saw it. Now, we believe there's one person in the car here.
Yeah, that is what we're hearing here from the sheriff's frequency that I was just listening to. And again, I also heard them say that the mom and the children were out of the car and they were okay. So we really don't know what the circumstances were at the start of all this, but thankfully they're fine. They're not in the car. That is a complete opposite from a pursuit that we covered a couple weeks ago, which was a very similar circumstances, carjacking suspect with 3 young children in the car. That ended in a terrible crash. Thankfully, though, today's situation, even though it may have started under somewhat similar circumstances, we know that at this point the suspect is in this vehicle all by himself.
Eliana, can you give us an exact location? We know it's the 405, but I've got to be honest with you, he's going so fast, I'm having trouble even catching the locators at the top of the screen there.
Yeah, Colleen, it's also been difficult because we're so close to John Wayne. So that's why we were kind of maneuvering there just a few minutes ago. But this is, as I said, right next to John Wayne. We're off of the 405 freeway continuing south. So the Irvine area is where we're going to end up here in just a moment at the speeds that he's traveling at. But again, these are slow speeds compared to what we saw earlier. Triple digits at one point and driving the wrong way on the freeway. At this point, the CHP really hasn't been able to do any pursuit intervention tactics that we would normally talk about, like spike strips or pit maneuvers, because he's simply going just way too fast, and there really hasn't been any rhyme or reason to his driving.
Sure, given the size of that, that's a Chevy Tahoe, I believe, and the speed, that would definitely rule out a pit maneuver here.
Correct. Yeah, this is a bigger car, and at the speeds that he's traveling at, they simply haven't been able to get him slow enough. And even then, they would need a larger police vehicle, a similar-sized SUV, to be able to do an effective pit maneuver. But I should also mention that right before we got overhead, we did hear that he was involved in a vehicle collision with another car. Now, we haven't gotten any follow-up on that as to if anyone was injured in that collision. But just looking at the car itself, I really haven't seen much in the way of damage to the vehicle itself. So I can only assume that it wasn't a major traffic collision. But that was right off of Garfield near the 105 freeway. And right after that crash occurred is when he jumped on the freeway, and we've been on the freeway ever since.
You know, is there just you're so tight on the car here? Is it just one CHP unit?
Yeah, let me widen out, Colleen. We've got that one unit, and that's all we've got. One CHP unit. And I should add that when the Sheriff's Department first asked the CHP to take over, they were somewhat delayed because they didn't have any units available. But this officer was actually at the end of a off-ramp right when the guy went by at 100 miles an hour, so he was able to get behind him. But at this point, he's the only unit behind him, in addition to the sheriff's helicopter overhead.
I have to tell you, I thought that was rather curious. They called for a CHP units, and the sheriff's deputies did, and there were none available. How does that happen on the 405 South?
Yeah, they had said there were none available. Unclear to me if perhaps there's some other traffic accidents on these Orange County freeways that they were attending to, or were simply out of pocket. Maybe they were just a little bit too far at the time to try to get behind this guy. But thankfully, the officer that we see here wasn't too far away. He was able to get behind him, and he's been behind him ever since, kind of keeping a distance, though, not really right on his tail. So trying to give him a little bit of breathing room here. But at this point, that officer waiting for reinforcements on the ground. And again, it's still the LA County airship overhead, but we're deep into Orange County now. We're still in Irvine here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Orange County Sheriff's Department came in to take over the chase.
That CHP unit may be trying to keep up. This is the slowest we've seen him go, at 70, 69 miles an hour. Is he running into traffic here?
Colleen, in terms of traffic, relatively light, headed southbound here on the 405.
Here's another unit.
CHP unit, coming in to join the pursuit. And we were just talking about which helicopter would come and take over the chase. It's actually going to be Angel. That's the helicopter out of Anaheim that is going to be coming over the pursuit here now that we're so far into Orange County. Essentially, we're almost to the El Toro Y, which is, of course, where the 405 freeway comes to an end at the 5 freeway near the old El Toro Marine Base. So we are just moments from being there at the interchange.
I'm trying to get my bearings and remember here. Has he passed the toll road, the 73?
He has already passed the 73 there. He had his chance to get on it was when he was near the airport, and he didn't do it. So at this point, he's fully committed here to getting onto the 405 South and then the 5, because the 405 does come to an end here. So he's going to be forced onto the 5 freeway. He's currently set up to stay in the carpool lane, and these are those flyover lanes here right at the interchange with the 5 freeway. So he'll be committed 5 South if he does decide to stay on the freeway and doesn't exit before then. If he does exit before then he would be in Irvine. And at that point, Irvine Police, of course, is the patrolling agency in the city of Irvine, but the California Highway Patrol would stay behind the vehicle, even if he does exit on a surface streets.
I know you said he's in Irvine. Can you give us an idea of what the next exit or two he will face? What's coming up?
Yeah, so we're talking about exits like Alton and Baker and Lake Forest Drive, eventually El Toro Road. Beyond that, we've got Aliso, we've got Oso, Ortega Highway, and eventually the 5 freeway going to take us all the way to the border if he does stay on it. But at this point, unknown what the circumstances of the car are. Does he even have the fuel for a drive that far? We don't know if he stole this from a gas station while the rightful owner was trying to put gas in the vehicle and didn't have the opportunity, or what the circumstances may have been. So at this point, unknown how far this vehicle is going to be able to travel, but we're fully committed here to transitioning here onto the 5 freeway from the 405.
We want to let our viewers know, if you're just joining us, obviously this is in deep into Orange County right now, but it started in Compton as a carjacking, Eliana. We don't know a lot of particulars on this. We do know there was a woman and there were children involved, but the children are not in the car here. This is a single driver. Have we lost contact?
Hey there, Colleen. I missed your question. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I said we know it started in Compton as a carjacking. We don't know all the circumstances surrounding that, but we know there was a woman and children involved here. Although the children are not in the car, there is a single driver in the car.
That is correct, Colleen. And I'm also noticing, look at that front tire on the driver's side front tire. Looks a little low to me.
It certainly does. As we were talking and your audio dropped out here, you know, it almost looked like he was slowing down. Now I look at the speedometer that you see on the screen there, and he is definitely slowing down.
Yes, definitely slowing down. And as far as I know, they didn't set up any spike strips. I didn't see any. I didn't hear it mentioned on the police scanner either. But he could have hit something that punctured that tire. And I am seeing that front driver's side tire deflating significantly here. It's definitely flat. I don't know what the other side looks like. We just saw the tire go by. There we go. Yeah, so looks like we had that tire tread rip off the vehicle. So hopefully that's what's going to bring things here to an end. Hopefully a peaceful end as we continue southbound on the 405 freeway into Laguna Hills.
It's amazing looking that he is able to maintain that kind of control at this speed.
It really is, because he's still pretty much freeway speeds, even though he's essentially lost that tire. The back tires still look good to me. I don't know what the passenger side front tire looks like, but...
And there are no sparks coming out of that.
Yeah.
If he's just on the rim, there are no sparks coming from that front driver's side tire.
Yeah, no sparks yet as we approach El Toro Road. It does look like he's perhaps setting up to exit El Toro Road, and this is going to put him toward the mall area. And El Toro Road, always a very busy street here through the area, lots of businesses and homes as well. And so you see the CHP units there behind him. I could only assume that they're thinking that this guy's going to have to pull over. He's already lost his tire.
Oh, is that a pit? Is that a pit?
Yeah, here we go on El Toro. They just hit that rear bumper, and it looks like he's able to regain control. But they're not giving up. They're going to give it another try here on El Toro.
It looks like he's going in there again.
Yeah, so slowing down here. Turns are always a great place to do these. So let's see if they try it again on Avenida de la Carlota and El Toro. He's up on the sidewalk, and officers are going to get in position here to try to take this guy into custody. So they'll really slow things down here. You'll see the officers here with their guns drawn. I'm not seeing any movement here from the driver just yet, but officers will be making call-outs here. Here's the door. So driver door opening. He just threw something out. We're coming around to clear that tree there, but the driver is stepping out. So appears to be complying here with the California Highway Patrol at the termination of this pursuit. His hands are up in the air. And it looks like he is walking back toward the officers now. So again, they'll really slow things down and give him directions as to what they need him to do. They're just trying to get him away from the vehicle. They'll take him into custody and eventually will approach the car, which is apparently what's going to happen right now. You see those officers there coming up to the car. They need to clear it to make sure that nobody else is inside. It'll take them a second to do that. And again, the driver now in custody. Wanted carjacking suspect all the way from Compton has terminated here on El Toro Road in the city of Lake Forest.
All right.